Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I'm Andy Signor, and I am a huge Wayne's World fan. That's right. Here I broke out my Funko Pops, my hat. I'm so excited to see Wayne and Garth back. I've grown up with these guys. I loved the first movie. I do enjoy the second movie. It's got some parts. It's not as good as the first movie, but I've been a fan of them since Saturday Night Live, since the beginning. And it's so nice to see them reunite, which they had some beef before. In fact, I made a video about that. If you want to learn about what their issues were previously, go check it out, because I did a lot of research on that, because I'm a big fan. So I want to break down, how did this commercial come about? If you want to see the commercial, you're gonna have to click the description, because I can't show you the commercial in full here because YouTube will ding me. But I want to talk about some comments Mike Myers have shared, Dana Carvey shared, why they did it. I want to talk about this Uber Eats initiative. Is it good? Are they selling out to the right company? Also, did you know there's a 2.5-hour movie you can watch featuring Wayne and Garth? Let's break it all down. All right, so Wayne and Garth stars Mike Myers, Dana Carvey have reunited for Uber Eats Super Bowl ad with Cardi B. Now, how did they get them to actually do this? Well, they made it about eating locally, which is very ironic. Before we even get to the behind the scenes of the commercial, it's worth noting there is a little bit of controversy out there, because a lot of restaurants don't actually like Uber Eats because they take 30% of the revenue. So when you make an order through a DoorDash, through a Grubhub, any of these places, they take 30% of the check, which is a lot for these local eateries, especially right now when they were all hurting. And here's an example coming in from somebody. The Bovine restaurant here talks about, if you order a burger and fries, it costs them $13 if ordered directly, with the restaurant keeping all proceeds. However, when you order through a third-party app like Grubhub or Uber Eats, the cost goes up. They charge more for the food. It's $19, and then the restaurant only gets to keep 10 of those dollars. So they charge more and get less. So at the end of the day, they lost $3 in that sale because they used a third-party app. So, it's made them frustrated. So this article is actually fascinating, because there's a company, apparently Chop tried to do it locally, like trying to do it at the real cost so that the restaurants didn't get hit, and that these corporations didn't make so much money off of the backs of local businesses. So it's important to put that up first, because some people are like, well, come on, you're not actually helping the local, food that Wayne and Garth are out there trying to promote, and clearly why they did it. But so here's how Uber Eats is trying to justify it. They've now dedicated, to their credit, $20 million to support local restaurants across the U.S. So if you go to their website and they talk about eating local and how they, you can support the effort, they talk about how they're going to be putting, you can apply for relief grant through Uber Eats. Who knows how complicated that's actually going to be? This could all just be a PR stunt to help certain businesses, and I hope it's going to do some genuine good, but they clearly knew the controversy and incorporated Wayne and Garth into the websites and the photo campaigns to help really get more of this information out there. So now they're making it clear, 0% restaurant fees when ordering online, 0% delivery fees for the big game to help. We are waiving the delivery for consumers from spots from February 3rd through 7, so that people ordering don't have to pay. And then 0% restaurant fees for pickup orders. Again, they're still going to 0% fee for daily payouts. It's still going to cost the restaurant money, but they're trying to, seem like they're taking away some of this stuff. And again, this is only the 30th of June. Look, take this as you will. Some restaurants clearly don't sign up for Uber Eats because of this issue. You got to make enough orders to justify being in bed with this company. But it's just, keep it in mind. They're out there promoting eat locally, eat locally. It's, we're helping the little businesses, but do you have any idea how much this commercial cost? Getting Wayne and Garth, Mike Myers, Dana Carvey's salaries, to get them on ad campaigns, photos, stills. Plus, it wasn't just one commercial, mind you. There's one commercial, but if you actually go to the website, as I'm going to talk about here, this video is 2.5 hours long. Right here, 2.5 hours long of Wayne's Run. And I'll break down what that is, because I did watch it all just for you guys. So we'll review that in a second. But before we get to all of that, all right, I just want to quickly. So why'd they do it? Why did Dana Carvey, Mike Myers sign up for this? Let's read the comments. Dana Carvey said reuniting for Uber Eats as a benefit for local restaurants while making people laugh was a no-brainer. Wayne and Garth are the happiest characters we've ever played, and it just seemed like the world really needs them right now. This pretty much just sort of talks about the ad itself. Cardi B, she shows up, but as part of the campaign, Uber Eats is launching a 20 million Eat Local relief effort over the next 6 months that will benefit independently owned restaurants if you sign up, it seems like, and if you, I'm sure, follow along their protocols. A sector of the economy that suffered greatly during the pandemic. The effort covers 4.5 million in micro grants and in-app donation button matched by Uber, so diners can give more to local restaurants, among other initiatives. To promote ordering locally while watching the big game and beyond, Uber Eats will offer delivery for all local restaurants, along with other offers. In a statement in conjunction with today's news, Mike Myers said that when Uber Eats approached them with the idea, they were excited. Local restaurants need our support more now than ever, right now. Carvey added, Wayne and Garth are the happiest. The quote I just read, it seems like the world really needs them right now. Cardi B dropped her famous, I love to eat, and right now, who doesn't love to eat, Cardi B? We have to be supporting our local restaurants like the Griddle Cafe in LA. So many spots are struggling right now, and it's up to us to eat local. That's why I teamed up with Uber Eats and my boys, Wayne and Garth, to help. And so there we go. They talk about more of it. But yeah, this is key. Now, by some insight for you guys who don't know, you get a talent like this, obviously by money. Money helps a lot to get this talent in. But even then, sometimes it's not enough. Someone like Mike Myers and Dana Carvey, is this a good look for me right now to do a commercial when, everyone's at home, stuck, not getting paid? And you do that. A lot of big companies, the way they do that is they team up with a charity where they give a portion to the charity. And more often than not, still, okay, that's doing good. But, shouldn't they do that anyway? But sometimes a lot of companies, I've worked for some, where they use a charity sort of as like part of your donations. If you get a sale today, we'll go towards charity. We're trying to make our deadline. If we make enough sales, we'll be able to give so much more to charity. I find that kind of slimy. Like, companies that make money should just do that already and not use that to try and entice more money to come to the company. It should be to the charitable action. So that's one way you'll see people out there do it. Another way is to sort of align the campaign with we're going to do good. And in this case, it's Eat Local, which, let's be honest, is a really good cause, and I'm glad they're promoting it. People should eat locally, and when we say eat locally, it just means independent businesses. Doesn't mean like going to a different state to eat. It means when you order, don't go to the Olive Garden or McDonald's. Go to the local people who are the independently owned restaurants that need the help more than the other, chain people. And so, yeah, amen. I'm glad they're out there promoting it. They're right. They need help, so they're out there doing it. But is Uber Eats the right company to do it with? Are they actually going to give back enough? Is this, 20 million sort of just a cost to sort of justify a lot of people signing up and seeing the convenience, and then they're automatically in, and then after June, when the deal's over, they get to make more money? Maybe. But what do you think? I'm curious. Tell me your comments down below. Do you think it's a greater good? Do you support Uber Eats? Do you like them? Look, even Uber drivers, they're trying to make a living too. You got to tip them as well. It's a lot of add-on tips between Uber Eats winning the money, the drivers, which they don't pay enough. Let's be honest. I think they pay them $10 an hour plus tips. A lot of gas. The drivers are hurting too. Uber notoriously underpays. But if anybody has experience with that, let me know down below. But let's look at what they've done. All right, so now that we've seen sort of the behind the scenes of it all, why Mike and Dana did it, what did they do? Well, again, I will put this link to the commercial. It's a minute. Maybe you guys already saw it in the big game, the Super Bowl. I can say it here. But here, even then, they took the whole Cable 10, they HD-ified it, and then they got someone to actually put in an Uber Eats bag, which it's just thinking in Wayne's World, the whole Pepsi, different, and the Newprin, little yellow, different, when they do their product placement. I will never buy, that scene's amazing. But here they are legitimately doing it now, the irony, and getting paid, I'm sure, a fortune. But here's Uber Eats incorporated into it. And then here's the set. It's like they did a really good job bringing it all back to life. They had to have gotten the rights from Saturday Night Live. I'm sure Lauren Michaels, Saturday Night Live, owns this, and they had to pay them too. But here they are rebuilding the set, which looks close enough, looks good, and cinematic. Got the wardrobe, but the hat's back, everything. And here they are doing their bit, and they have the same positive energy. I do really like them. They do some subtle stuff. Eat local. Why would we force this in? And then they do some gags about, we're not going to just try and trick you with this and trick you with that. We're not going to use trends and other ways to sort of make you eat local. And then we're not going to have some stunt cast. And then of course they bring in Cardi B. This made some people annoyed, but I got what they were doing. I think it's sort of like, yeah, Cardi B is the obvious cheesy celeb you do, right? And then they do a TikTok dance where they switch wardrobes. It was really, I thought they glossed it really quick, but I love this frame. Did you guys? There's Wayne in Garth attire. Never got to see that before. That was kind of fun. But anyway, they do all that. Cardi B, of course, whatever, whether you like her or not. And then the ad, they talk about eating local, and there it is, support local. So that wasn't all they did, though. What was so fascinating is beyond that, they made this other video. So these are all like just clips from the main 1 minute commercial. But if you go here, 2.5 hours, they made a 2.5 hour video where they show up and do a little bit in the beginning, and then they literally begin to proceed to scroll through every restaurant in the United States for 2.5 hours. And you can scroll ahead and look. Here's California. They did make chapters, thankfully. California is a big one. Colorado. They play chess. Alice Cooper, spoiler alert, shows up at one point while they're playing there. And to be fair, they're doing a lot of looping. There's a lot of tricks in the loop. They loop, and then they like bring in stand-ins to sort of sit in for a little bit of it as well. The idea of this was clever, but I did genuinely get bored. I don't think you really need to sit there and watch it all. Oh, look, we started up in Florida. You don't need to watch it all. Like you would watch it at double speed and try and zoom through quickly. But literally, the whole video is just bits and stand-ins, and this bit's funny where they do a portrait and he paints him, and then it's literally 2.5 hours of this. Ooh, yeah, that one looks good. The commitment to the joke, I gotta give them props. They replace them with dogs and stand-ins at one point, the gag never stops. They go through everything. But here's a fun example of he just does that. He does the ping pong over and over again while he's counting, and they literally do it for 1,000 seconds just to sort of make it like, and then he's like, ooh, new record. So they're trying to play with like these sort of loops, and it's clever. They roll in a green screen at one point so they can pretend. I'm sure they didn't even know it was going to be behind them. And then they bring in all the stand-ins. But yeah, you can just sort of, by scrolling through, it'll be enough. There was I did watch it for you guys. It's not worth it, but it's impressive to see they got them. It made me sad they didn't just do a podcast. Like, have Wayne and Garth sit there and like, all right, we have to adapt to the times now. They could have thought so many bits. And they could have had it there, still going. They had Wayne and Garth there. Clearly they didn't do it for 2.5 hours. They did it probably a freaking hour. And then Alice Cooper shows up and they do a jam session at the very end, which is actually probably the best part. I would advise you, if you're gonna do it, at least make sure you watch the that part. They do a whole, that's the fake part, but there's a part where they literally are, yeah, they're just literally just start bored. It's so weird. So you're either in on the joke or not, but it's definitely too long. But then at the end, some guy just vacuums and it's over. But there you go, 2.5 hour. Basically, Wayne's World 3 is pretty much what it was. And then at the very end, they show up again like, you're still here? Spoiler alert. I can't get you then because it's hard to get. There it is. Why are it doesn't work. But anyway, they show up at the very end like, why are you still here? I highly advise you watch it at most speed, which I don't know if you guys know you can do. You just go over and click, it's the little gear, and you can change your playback speed. Watch it at 2 speed, no doubt. It'll go by a lot faster. But yeah, then they show up and they're like, what are you doing? What do you guys, what? You guys are still here? And then the video's over. So anyway, what could they have done something cooler? Yes. But, you know, the commitment is there. A lot of people are talking about they did do it. It did make me want to see it, but here, well, I guess this is what Wayne's World 3, we're going to have to accept it. Yeah, I don't think they're going to do another movie, sadly. And seeing them I don't know, I think they're better in probably the short formats, and maybe they'll keep doing it. Showing up on Saturday Night Live once in a while would be a fun way to do it. But I'm curious what you guys think of all this. Did you know this? Are you going to watch it? Did you like the commercial? Do you think they legitimately sold out and it wasn't worth it? Or were you glad to see them back? Do you think they should have done this? They clearly got paid a lot. Talking about the money part of it, even giving away the $20 million and then paying them probably they could have been paid $10 million to do a full-on ad campaign that they get to own forever in the photos. It could be high, $5 million each, easy. That's how much it can cost to get these people to show up for that. So was it worth it? Or should they just give that money to restaurants at the end of the day? Curious your thoughts overall. Did it make you swing or not? Tell me what you think. Do you want a Wayne's World 3? I'd love to have that in the comments down below. And also, if you haven't already, how about subscribe and hit that bell, all alerts, smash that like button, and leave a comment. What's your favorite Wayne's World quote, or do you want a part 3? I'd love to hear all that down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Lots more here coming on Popcorn Planet, so stay tuned or click one of these. In fact, I'm going to put that Wayne's World video. You see it there on the left? That's over on my other channel, Movie World. Go check it out. I give you some in-depth knowledge about the film.